Let me help you understand what empty religion seeks to do. This is very important. What empty religion seeks to do is to do religious things, but not to surrender their life to him. Okay? That's what dead religion is. Dead religion is, I'm not going to allow God's truth to do that complete heart change, reprioritizing of my whole life. I'm not going to do that, but I will do religious things. I'll do a lot of religious things if needed, but I'm not going to do that. So that's why there's this desire of like, what are the works? What are the things that you want me to do? And in this way, religion, the wrong way of doing religion, instead of it being about really seeking his heart, instead it's kind of like a payoff. It's kind of like, I understand that the call of God is to know him, to walk with him, to live for him, to have his priorities, my priorities, to understand that he is God and my heart belongs to him, to seek him above all else. Like, I understand that's the point of religion. That's the call of God. And I don't really want to do that, but what I will do is I will be a good person and I will do religion. It's kind of like a payoff. And that kind of religion, God hates because it's ingenuine. That's basically just like the person who's chasing after you, but they don't really want to know you. They don't really want to know your heart. Isaiah chapter 1. It's like all that stuff, all that religion. I hate it. I hate it is what God says. I hate it. It's empty. It's false. And so what Jesus says, what he wants is for you to believe in him. That means come to him in realness. Come to him in genuineness. See who he is and what it means. Come to him in spirit and truth with a heart that is actually willing and open and ready to receive him. Well, let's keep reading. So verse 30, it says, so they asked him, what sign then will you do to give? What sign then will you give that we may see it and believe you? What will you do? Our ancestors ate the manna in the wilderness, as it is written, he gave them bread from heaven to eat. Jesus said to them, very truly I tell you, it is not Moses who has given you the bread from heaven, but it is my Father who gives you the true bread from heaven. For the bread of God is the bread that comes down from heaven and gives life to the world. Sir, they said, always give us this bread. Then Jesus declared, I am the bread of life. Whoever comes to me will never go hungry, and whoever believes in me will never go thirsty. But as I told you, you have seen me, and still you do not believe. Okay, I had to ask some questions here of like what's going on in the sense of, like, they said, you know, they recounted or they recalled the Exodus, you know, the Old Testament story where bread from heaven was given, manna, and they said, you know, they said he gave them bread from heaven to eat, talking about Moses, and Jesus corrected them. And Jesus said, it wasn't Moses who gave that to you. It was my Father who gave it to you. And you have to ask, like, well, what is Jesus trying to get at? Like, what is the point he's really trying to make to their hearts? Because they knew this. Like, if they, they knew, like, where did that manna come from? Like, was that really just Moses? Was Moses like some sort of like superhero? Like, they knew that it came from God. They knew that. But nevertheless, Jesus is saying this, and he's trying to make a point. Like, you guys see Moses. You're doing your religion. This whole conversation is happening in a synagogue. These are religious people. He's like, you're seeing that. You have your traditions. You talk about Moses, but you're not lifting up your eyes to God. It's not about Moses. It's not about that. It's about him. It's about knowing him. They're like, we want the bread. We want the bread. That came up again. Okay, they're like, sir, always give us this bread. And Jesus is like, it's me. Like, if you go to Jesus and you're like, hey, can you give us this bread of life? This is just a stupid analogy, but it's like, I pick up like a glass of water and be like, hey, glass of water, I'm really thirsty. Do you know anywhere that I could find something to quench my thirst? Like, can you provide something like that? It's like, you drink it, okay? Like, here's the problem. Jesus wants to give something. Jesus wants to give something, and he said, Jesus declared, I am the bread of life. Whoever comes to me will never go hungry, and whoever believes in me will never be thirsty. Like, that's what he wants to give. But in order to drink of Jesus, we have to do something. We have to lay down our priorities. Because our priorities is not that. Like, our priorities is like, I have an agenda of my life. There's what I want to live for. There's what I want in life. I will go to him with hopes that he will help me with this agenda. Like, that's the normal way of doing religion. And Jesus is like, no, I'm the agenda. Like, the satisfaction for your soul is not through what you think you want in life. Everyone in here is probably hoping for different things. There's probably different things in your mind that you're like, if only I had this, if only I had more money, if only I had a spouse or more free time or whatever. Finally, if only my parents would like realize this about me or whatever. We all have things that we really want in life. And Jesus is saying, none of that is going to satisfy you. All of that is food that perishes. All of that is just temporary things. Instead, the life that's going to satisfy you is to know me, to have a real relationship with me. It's what you were created for, life. But they're coming to Jesus. He's saying, you don't believe in me because you're coming to me and you're asking for stuff. You don't get it. You don't see that it's me, that it's knowing me. And the reason they don't see is because they're not surrendering that.